Yo, what's the dealio, man? Listen, you already know I got a banger for you today, all right? In today's video, we got Wzdm Wednesday. Hey, it's Wzdm Wednesday, right? This YouTube channel is home of the Wzdm Wednesdays. And what does that mean? Every Wednesday, I'm bringing you some wisdom, all right? I'm bringing you some wisdom, some perspective, some insight that can make you a better person, elevate your perception, and elevate how you view the world. All right, and today is no different. So I hope y'all made some money in the stock market today, but we already know that this video is not about that. All right, we taking a break from the stocks and we working on ourselves. We working on the inside. All right, so you already know I got some heat. I'm gonna bring y'all. Okay, so I don't want to waste y'all time. Let's just get started. All right, so check this out. Right, I posted this on Twitter. Okay, now check this out. The concept of self-talk is more important than how successful you are or what you have accomplished, right? Your accomplishments would never happen with shitty self-talk, okay? Your childhood sets the foundation of your internal self-talk. Heal yourself from the inside out, all right? So today we're talking about self-talk, right? And, self proclamation. All right. So check this out. The concept of self-talk is more important than how successful you actually are, right? Or what you have accomplished. So let's really go in, right? Let's really go in. So I want you guys to understand. Your self-talk is more important than the thing you actually accomplished. Like let's start right there. So if you want something, the things that you talked yourself through is what's going to get you there. You hear what I'm saying? So a lot of times we think that, oh, this person accomplished X, Y, and Z, right? And that's it. But they don't look at the journey it took of self-talk, right? If you want anything, you got to talk yourself through it. You got to talk yourself through it. So let me ask you, right? If you are telling yourself, man, I can't do that, you already defeated yourself, right? So how far are you gonna get if every time there is a opportunity, you tell yourself no, you tell yourself you can't? How far are you gonna get in life? I'll wait. You're not gonna get far at all. You're not going to get far at all. So I want to start right there. Anything that you want to do, I need you to check your self-talk. I need you to ask yourself, how am I talking to myself? And so I want you to really start assessing what your self-talk is. What are you telling yourself 30 times a day? What are you telling yourself? This starts in the mind. This starts with the self. This starts inside. Okay, what are you telling yourself? You can't do it, you can't do it. I'm not good at this, I am good at this. That shit gonna be hard. That shit gonna take forever. Man, I'm tired of this. All of that is self-talk. And I want you to understand something. You are not your voice. So you gotta learn how to detach from yourself and be able to coach yourself outside of yourself, if that makes sense. So you gotta be able to look at yourself and be like, okay, this is where I'm at. This is what I'm traversing through. This is what's going on. Now let me step outside of myself and talk to myself and coach myself. But here's the kicker. How can you coach yourself if you don't have an optimistic outview in life? How can you coach yourself if you've never coached yourself, right? A lot of times, a lot of people need somebody else to coach them. But you never gonna get what you want in life if you don't learn how to coach yourself. And this is why it is self-talk. It's not somebody else talk to you talk. It's self-talk. Okay? Now watch this. That self-talk, then it starts to lead to what? Self-actualization. Self-actualization. Right? So we got self-talk. Once you learn how to master your self-talk, you're going to start to actualize your true self. You're going to start to actualize who you really are. You're going to start to actualize your higher self. So I want you to ask yourself, what do I really, really, really want? If we wasn't worried about the limitations, what would you really want in life? What are the things that you would really want? Not speaking from a place of limits, not speaking from a place of limiting self-talk, but from a place of boundlessness. What would you be saying you want to do? I want you to just take a second and think about that, right? So your self-talk is going to help you lead to your self-actualization. And what is the actualization? You're actualizing who you actually are within yourself from yourself. You like, damn, right? I know in one of Nipsey's songs, he was like, when you notice that you're great and you've been a whole time and it slapped you in the face, right? That's self-actualization. When you realize how great you are, that's self-actualization. When you realize that you haven't even tapped into your full potential, that is self-actualization, because you're now aware of what more you can do and what more you can accomplish and how much greater you can be. Because it's not about doing more things. It's not about having more things. It's about being more from the inside out, because your aura is supposed to be radiating out of you. Do you hear what I'm saying? It's about the aura. It's about that energy work. It's not about the things. It's not about the physical world. It's about what is radiating outside of you from inside of you. Okay? That's what we call self-actualization. That's how I look at it, right? So that self-talk is going to get you to allowing yourself to understand who you really are, what you can really do, what you can really become, what you can really experience. Okay? So just follow what I'm saying right here. Self-talk. And I want you to understand that this all goes back to, right, when you was a kid. Because let's say you was getting made fun of when you was a kid. That's going to affect what your self-talk could be as an adult. But you got to live above it. You got to be like, no, right? You got to heal your inner child. The concept of healing your inner child is so powerful, because all you got to do, I want you to ask yourself, when I was a kid, what did I need? When I was a kid, what did I need? And then you know what you do? You give yourself what you needed as a kid right now. And when you do that, over time, you allow yourself to heal your inner child. Are you hearing what I'm saying right now? So this is how you really become a person that experiences self-actualization, because you heal all your inefficiencies within yourself. You heal all your voids. But you got to ask yourself and be honest, what did I need as a kid? What did I need as a kid? I don't know what you needed as a kid, but you know, right? You know why you know and I don't? Because you live your life and I didn't. I'm just here to help you, right? Get some perspective on what this is really about. But I want you to understand something. I want you to understand something. You got to go back. You got to go back. You got to assess what has actually happened and why are you the way you are. You can't talk to yourself powerfully if you didn't overcome what you experienced as a kid that may have made you feel inferior. I felt inferior. Let me tell you, let me share a story real quick with you, right? I remember when I was in high school, right? Graduated high school, I was always introspective. And I remember I would have homeboys and they'd be like, man, Isiah always preaching. Isiah always preaching. But watch this. They didn't realize that that was me being a messenger. So they didn't value it, right? But watch this. But now, because I healed that part of myself and I'm not afraid or ashamed of me always preaching, now what am I doing? I'm doing the same thing right now that people used to try to make fun of me about, and that's preaching. You get what I'm saying? You have to understand that the voids that were placed upon you based on the things that you experienced or the people that you dealt with in your life as a child, you got to overcome that. And that is probably where your greatest gifts lie. Okay? And that's where your self-actualization is going to come from. Stop allowing your past and things that people said from the past, stop allowing those things to stop you from being who you were supposed to be today in this time. Okay? So you gotta understand that. You gotta understand that self-talk is gonna help you actualize your actual self and who you are, right? And then the third step, watch this. Self-proclamation. Okay? I want you to understand you can live a self-proclaimed life. Now, what do I mean by a self-proclaimed life? And I also want you to understand that we got self-talk, we got self-actualization, and self-proclamation. What's the trend that we're seeing here? The trend is the word self. Self. That is within. That is solo. That is by yourself. Everything that you want in life, it starts with looking in the mirror. Everything that you want in life starts with looking inside. Everything that you want in life, it starts with you. I'm always trying to bring it back to you. Okay? Nothing that you get and seek outside of yourself is going to be fulfilling. It just is what it is. It ain't about the money. It ain't about the materialistic stuff. That's why I always talk about not being a slave to materialism. The reason being is simply because I want you to understand that all of this starts with you and who you are and your actual self, and looking in the mirror and going inside. Right? As above, so below. As without, so within. These are actual real life principles that if you understand how to implement them in your life will never be the same. So we got self-talk and we got self-actualization, and then we got self-proclamation. All right, to proclaim. What does the proclaim mean? Essentially, I like to break things down in a very simplistic way, in a simplistic terms, right? To proclaim means to decree, means to, put that out there, to state, to make a statement. So you can live a self-proclaimed life once you got your self-talk in order, and then you got your you self-actualize, and you start to really see and understand who you actually are. Now you start to really proclaim what your life is and what your life is about, right? I don't care if you went to a college and you got a big-time degree. If you want to go and be something else that has nothing to do with that degree, all you got to do is proclaim it. That's all you got to do. I don't care if you've been having this business and you've been consulting for years and you're so used to that narrative of your life, but now you want to go and do something completely different. That's perfectly fine. All you got to do is proclaim it and go step into it. Because let me tell you something. When I went into the military when I was younger, I thought I was going to retire in there. Literally, I thought, looking at me now, you like, I can't see him retiring in the military, right? But when I went in, I had a plan. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do 20 years. I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna have a pension, right? That was the goal. It blew up, right? Technicals blew up, okay? Things changed. We have to pivot, okay? And then I proclaimed that I'm gonna go be a multimillionaire. I'm gonna go get in real estate, right? And what did I do? I did it. I went and moved to Atlanta. I got into real estate. I started flipping houses, wholesaling houses, fixing, flipping. I had some rental properties. All because I proclaimed it. Ain't nobody teach me real estate when I was young. Nobody taught me that. I proclaimed it. I said that this was going to happen because I had actualized myself and I had positive self-talk. Do you get what I'm saying here? Okay. And then I said, I'm about to start a podcast. A lot of y'all don't even know I had a podcast back in the day before podcast was big, right? 4 episodes a week. We was cranking them out. Very popular on iTunes. It starts with a vision podcast, right? I did that, right? It's about reinventing yourself, but also not being afraid to proclaim what you're about to do next. It ain't about what you were. It ain't about what you was doing. It ain't about who you were. It's about where you at right now and where are you going. You can go do anything. Don't be a slave to the box that you feel like you're in your life right now. Right? I was in solar. I was selling solar door to door. I was really good at it. And then I was like, I'm out of here. Just like that, because I proclaimed. I didn't never think that I was going to be on YouTube talking about stocks. I'm going to be honest with you. Right? I'm going to be honest with you about that, but it's because I proclaimed what I'm about to do. That's what I want you to understand. So anything that you want to do, you can do it. All you got to do is proclaim it. It ain't about a certification. Now, obviously, if you want to go be a doctor or something like that, yeah, right, you got to have certain certifications. But even you can proclaim that you're going to go do that, and then you take the steps to get there, and then you end up getting there. This is what I'm saying. I want you to understand that you can proclaim to do anything. You could go live a self-proclaimed life. That's how you have people doing extraordinary things. And you like, I remember 5 years ago when you was doing X, this ain't nothing like what you're doing right now. It's because people have learned to live a self-proclaimed life. A self-proclaimed life. I hope that you understanding what I'm saying on a cellular level, because I know how powerful this stuff is. Get out of the box that you're in right now in your life. Go do what you want to do, but you can only get there when you work on your self-talk. You understand that you've actually actualized who you are within yourself, right? And then from there, what do you end up doing? You start to live a self-proclaimed life. You start doing what you want to do. You start living how you want to live. You start being where you want to be. It's a lot of people that's tired where they living at. They ain't left their city in 5, 10, 15 years. But it's because they're inside of the box that life has drawn out for them, and it's invisible. It's all in your mind. You can literally be anything that you want to be in this actual world. I want you to understand that, because that is a myth that has been told to us, that we think that we can't have anything. We can't do anything. We can't be anything. That is all smoky mirrors. That is a myth. You can do, have, be, experience anything on this planet. All you got to do is actualize yourself, have that self-talk, right? And understand that you just got to proclaim it within yourself, and then your actions is going to follow that up. Because your actions follow your words, and as long as there's belief behind your words, your actions is going to fall in line. Because if I say I'm a multimillionaire and I really believe that, I'm living a self-proclaimed life, because my actions are going to follow suit of me being a multimillionaire. Right? If I say I'm tired of living where I'm at, right? Let's say I live in, for example, Vegas, right? I was tired of living out there. I told myself that in my mind a few times over time. And by me being tired of it, and that was what I honestly believed, my actions followed up with going to Colombia for 4 months. You get what I'm saying? This is how the game goes. So I'm trying to decode this and make this simple for you so that you could really go get anything that you want. You got to really tap in within yourself, and you got to really do that work. You got to really, really, really do that work. And you got to be willing. All right. You got to be open. You got to be open to change. You got to be open to yourself. You got to be open to seeing yourself. You got to be open to seeing who you really are outside of the veil that society has placed upon you. Okay. So listen, this is just a message that is coming through me right now to you. But you got to understand self-talk, self-actualization, and self-proclamation. Proclaim it within yourself and allow your actions to take you further in the direction of your self-talk after you've actualized yourself, and your proclamations, your statements. This is how you get whatever you want in life over time. I always say, get rich over time, not overnight. Get anything you want over time, not overnight. But you can make quantum leaps inside of your life. You got to stop believing that everything gonna take forever, because our reality is followed by our beliefs. So if you believe it, that's what your reality is gonna be. You got to start believing different if you want different. Please understand what I'm saying here. All right. So listen. I hope that blessed you. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Hey, this is the home of the Wisdom Wednesdays. I could do this all day, right? But every Wednesday, I'm bringing some wisdom to you. I hope that you understand what's being said here. I hope that this fed your soul, and I hope that you really, really, really got something from it, all right? So if you made it to the end of this video, please type this in right here in the comments, all right? Self-talk, self-actualization, and self-proclamation, all right? Self-talk, self-actualization, and self-proclamation. All right, it starts with your self-talk. That helps you actualize your actual self. And once you have those two in place, what happens is you start to live a self-proclaimed life. All right, I hope y'all have a great day, man. Share this with a friend. Share this with somebody. All right, if it touched you, if it touched your heart, if it touched your spirit. All right, like I always say, make sure you get up out of your head, go get into this world, because your head is a dangerous place to live. All right, and also remember, the more you study, the less you worry. All right, I'm gonna see you guys on the next video. Peace.